All right, we should be live.
Woohoo!
Oh, I'm gonna have feedback. Hold on. I had the screen open and rookie mistake. Oh, we're not live yet. Well, we are live, but not live.
Yeah, it's not me because I can't even open up a
Oh,
tab.
here we go. There we go. Okay. Hey, welcome everybody. We're a few seconds late. A little miscommunication with me sending Scott the link for him to join me. So thanks, Scott. Appreciate you being here. I just got back from the hairdressers.
Yeah, me too.
Haircut. I know. I said men have it so easy right now. Just take some clippers. That's what my husband does.
Yeah, I just shave in the shower every morning, so no big deal.
Yeah. He doesn't shave in the shower, but he's got like a big beard like you, except his is white. His is the opposite colors of yours. He does have some like little bit of color still in it, but most of it's white.
Since they made a Funko POP, I have to maintain this now.
There you go. Perfect. Did somebody color that in, or did it actually come like that?
It came like that. A viewer said, "I found you as a Funko. You're not going to believe this," and he sent it to me. It's from a Spanish TV show. I've got the box. Oh, his name is Helsinki.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of it.
The show is La Casa de Papel.
Papel. So is that what we should call you? Is Helsinki?
I've been called worse. probably today. It's okay.
Every day. Hey, I'm going to welcome a few people into the chat that are here. We have Simply Dana. Thank you for stopping in. And Joe. And actually, Joe, let me give you a wrench, my friend here. There we go. I like to hand out wrenches. I know you don't hand them out as often on your show, but definitely makes it easier for people to leave links and stuff towards the end of the video. I usually let them leave links to their channel.
Yeah, I had a bunch of them, and then I had a couple people say, "How come I'm blocked?" And somehow they ended up getting blocked. So, and it wasn't me. It was people. It's a couple people that I actually enjoy talking to. So I'm like, oh well, we'll just.
Yeah, it's hard. I follow a YouTuber, Adventures in Reselling, Victoria, and you were on her channel, and that's how I actually found her. And she gives a wrench to everybody, and I got my first wrench from her. And then next thing I know, like I only give people wrenches that I actually know because I don't want to, obviously give it out to somebody who's going to end up coming back. Might be nice the first time, but then spam the next time. So.
You attracted some strange people. There's Harlan in the
I
chat.
know. I see Harlan there. I got to watch out for him. Make sure I don't give him a wrench.
He's got the same problem I got.
Hey, Harlan. Thanks for coming. I see Harbor's Hope and Philip. Thank you so much for stopping in.
Yeah, Harbor's Hope is Ron. Hey, good afternoon, Ron.
Oh, okay. I don't know Ron. I don't think I've seen him in other chats. So. Well, I appreciate you so much for coming on. I know I put something out there on Facebook, and we happen to be Facebook friends, and you saw it and said, "Hey, I'll come on your channel." And I was pretty excited. I got some pretty big hitter, in my opinion, pretty big YouTube hitters in the first 3 weeks I've been doing this.
Yeah, I'd like to encourage people to do YouTube. I mean, it's especially a female doing this because. You ladies face things that guys don't say anything about what I wear. They don't care about what I look like. You know what I mean? The audience, if they do, it means different things. So, any encouragement, I've known you for a little while now, and I like you a lot. So anything I can do to help out is great.
Oh, thanks. I definitely appreciate that. And, I've been watching you for at least a year, maybe more. And I was hesitant. I've been wanting to start YouTube for a while, but you're right. Women are definitely scrutinized differently than men on how they come on video. And I finally just said, I don't really give a rat's ass. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna come on. I don't really care about other people. If they don't like my channel, then don't watch it. If you do like it, great. Hopefully I put out some content that they can get some bits of good nuggets on. And I don't think you can ever please anybody. I got my first dislike last week, and I was like, "Oh, I got my first thumbs down."
Yeah, I generally start a show with a dislike, so it's okay.
Yeah, I got one last I didn't blame it on me because Jason said, "Oh, we got our dislike before we even started." He goes, "It's because of me." I'm like, "Eh, it comes with the territory."
Yeah, he has like people either love Jason or hate him. I think a lot of the same with me, and I've met him quite a few times. You know, there are varying opinions. I like Jason. I went to Atlanta to his class, had a good time, met some other people that were in a lot of my chat, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know you met Michael, the thrifting Goomba. He's been a good
Oh yeah.
friend of mine.
So
So,
Michael was one of the ones when I was looking through. I'm like, why in the hell is Michael blocked? Whenever I was looking for somebody else, and so that was the reason why the wrenches. I'm like, man,
okay. Yeah, I
let's
think
just.
Sue blocked him mistakenly one night
Oh, is that what happened?
on one of your shows. Yeah, I remember that. So, Mike, so your fortunes in reselling Facebook group, I'm still a member of. It's not as active as it used to be, but I was a member of that. And you had made a comment one time about networking with other people and creating this is going to be a very lonely job when you're selling by yourself and creating a network of people. And so I had put something out on your group last year around this time, actually, I think, maybe April timeframe, and
Mhm.
asked if there was anybody who just started, wanted to kind of connect with one another. And Michael was one of the ones who jumped on board, as well as Joe Pace, who's in the chat here. And there actually ended up being 10 of us. There was more, but we narrowed it down to 10. We started off with just a messenger chat group and moved to Discord. And right now I'm really the only female that's left there. There was two females, and Tiffany isn't as active. I think you know Tiffany.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, we met her at Har and I met her in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, yep, she's from Texas, and but she's not reselling anymore, so she's kind of died down, and I'm the only female amongst a bunch of men. But I'll tell you, that has been a lifesaver for the last year, just sharing information, and I really thank you again. Thank you for the group for allowing me to post that and networking with them, and we've all kind of grown at the same time because we were all starting off at the same time.
Yeah, it's important. Har and I have a real good friendship, and people think, how can you go to yard sales and stuff? We have more fun. I mean, it's not about it's now it's not become about finance. You know, I wouldn't even be doing the auction show. That was Harlan's idea. He's like, dude, we need to do an auction show. We need to when, and so we started talking about it in January. It's amazing when you put two or three people. There's probably 6 or 7 people I talk to regularly, and from all levels. You got people like Grumpy John, who is the biggest seller that I talk to. But then you've got people that have been love to see Steve, how he's built his business. Dan started from nothing, and Dan's outselling me right now. I mean, it's I got a good core group of people around me that are free to share information, and that's the whole key: is get a group around you. You need somebody that you can ask and talk to who's bigger than you. You also need smaller than you, and you need about the same level so that you've got the experience of, there's rewarding to help others. It's also you need somebody who's been there or somebody you can ask questions to, and then you need a camaraderie of people who are with you right now at the same spot. So it's the dynamics of a group, or I talk about it every now and then. It's you can only source so much, you can only scan so much, you can only do so much. But when you got a group of people who all contribute, it can't be people that just take. Because once you start giving into a group like that, it's amazing what you get out of it. It's the dynamic if you get the right people around you. And sometimes you'll miss, and sometimes they'll be the wrong people, and they'll kind of fade off or whatever, and that's okay.
Yeah, we've had to remove people from our group who either weren't active or you saw them active elsewhere but not on yours, and then you have to just kind of wonder if they're taking information and sharing it. So hold some stuff closely to yourself just to make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah, but finding somebody above you is always, I think, is one of the most challenging things. I think you can find people below you because there's always new people coming on. And for me right now, I've only been selling on Amazon for a year, so I can find people that are only a year old pretty easily. And of course, at the time I was starting off, so I found a bunch of people. Now eBay I've been on since '98, so.
But the key is that a lot of times somebody in that group will grow larger naturally, and so because there was when I met John, I was the bigger seller, and John had ambitions to build a business and to take care of his family and take care of a lot of people, and he got as big as he wanted to, and now he's decided that maybe that was too big. So sometimes it just naturally happens as you form friendships. And so that's generally how that worked. And now with the social media, I know quite a few people. I've had questions I could ask.
Yeah, well that's how I am too. And so we did have one guy in our group who started to grow really big. He was I enjoy it because we can, we share bolos and we respect each other's prices. Nobody tanks each other. We match or even stay above it until they sell out. And but he got suspended. I mentioned on your show this morning he just got his account back last week. He's lost it for about 6 weeks now, but they had a pretty big chunk of money that they owed him. So I was very happy to see him get his account back because he was just really beefing up his business, and I hated to see that happen to him. So um, so I know we jumped kind of right into it, but for people that are on here, because I'm not sure some of my friends that have been following my channel and jumping in my lives may not know who you are. So if you could just like introduce yourself and let us know how you got into reselling. I know there's some people are gonna be like, "Oh, I've heard the story 1,000 times," but
Um, so I'm Scott Zilke, the bearded picker. So how I get into reselling. It's been in my family for. I grew up with it. When I started going to yard sales with my mother and grandparents, as long as I can remember, we went to yard sales. My dad's side of the family, my grandfather never passed the yard sale. He didn't stop at. He did a lot more. He did a lot. He liked auctions and stuff better. And so there was experience on both sides of my family. And so I was always, I've had an eBay account since 2000, 99, 2000. I'm one of the older ones. So, if we needed money for vacations or whatever, we'd sell some things. I'd do whatever. And then I go back to running restaurants, and I'd run as a habit about every 5 years, I'd get mad and change restaurants. And the last time when the 5 years went up, because my boss was like, it's been 5 years. I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm thinking about jetting. And she's like, no, you can't do that. But it just occurred to me, maybe it's not the restaurants. Hell, maybe it's you. And so I'm like, I'd wanted to do something. I'd prayed a lot about it. I believe in divine appointments. I believe you're supposed to meet people. I believe good or bad, whatever and it's I had asked to be released from restaurants for a long time, and I finally felt the time was right. And so I sold cars for a summer, hated it, even though I love cars and can tell you anything about them. The act of persuading someone to do something, even if it's not in their best interest, didn't set very well. To advance, I didn't want to step on people to advance myself. I think that was a problem. And I'd already been ramping up my eBay that summer. And I just walked away from that. I'm like, Johnny, listen, I think we can. She had just gotten her disability, and we had jettisoned the 2-car payments, so we didn't have a lot of bills at that point. So I didn't need to make a ton of money. And a year into it, I was teaching a Sunday school class. I had a friend who talked me into it, even though I didn't feel I was very good at it. I guess I did okay. And one of the fellas in there said, you just do eBay. How come you don't sell on Amazon? And then this was early 14. I'm like, what do you mean sell on Amazon? That's Amazon. I didn't have any clue. I'm like a lot of people. I didn't have any clue who could sell on Amazon, that kind of stuff. And so he said, no, FBA, read about it. And so went on vacation where we came down to Alabama, and we were living in North Carolina. And I'm like, man, this is too good to be true. You mean I don't have to clean stuff, fix broken stuff, take stuff apart. I can sell new stuff, and they're going to ship it for me. And so that was May of 14, and it's been. Joni had a selling account. I just converted it to. I had a buying account. I converted to a selling account, and that was started doing YouTube. I guess about a year later. There was a morning show. Paul. What's Paul's last name? I'll think of it in a minute. He did the first morning show. And he just said he was selling. If anybody wants to come on, just turn the camera on. I've never been on YouTube or anything, and I appreciate that Paul would allow sellers of any size to come on and talk. So, and that I decided to make videos about what I do and where I travel. And for some reason, I was like, I'm gonna start showing a few of the things I pick up for Amazon. And that crazy monopoly happened.
Yeah, that monopoly was great for you. So
yeah, and his name is Paul Gummerson. That's it. He lives in.
Oh, okay.
He does a little bit of reselling, but his true passion was was jujitsu, and he's now teaching that and he still lives in Denver.
Okay, yeah, I think he rear his head up recently on YouTube again and
Yeah,
chats and stuff, and yeah, I've
yeah,
seen him around.
he was in my chats a couple times. Just truly, he's an outstanding guy. I like Paul.
So last week, Jason T. Smith showed me something on StreamYard, and so I'm going to do this in honor of you.
Oh, I don't know how you did that, but okay.
Did you see it?
Oh yeah, I can see the
blue minivan driving across the screen.
it looked like a Honda.
Well, I tried to find a red one to go with your current red one, but all they had was this blue one. So I knew you started out with blue, I think. So I said,
Yeah, I wouldn't trade anything for that Toyota out there. That's what people don't understand. You know, a lot of the grief that I caught in that video was you didn't account for gas on the big video, and you're wearing out your car. I'm like, I bought this van to do this job, and I've driven it 100. It's got 154,000 miles on it, so 140,000 of me reselling. At 57.5 cents a mile, you do the math on a tax deduction.
Right? Yeah.
The van is paid for itself over and then some. So.
Yeah, I always hear, but don't you have to pay taxes on your sales and stuff? And I'm like, yeah, but I get to write off a lot of stuff. Like, correct. I write off enough stuff that there's not as much profit as it may look like there is. So, yeah.
Hands down, the best thing I did last year was hire an accountant. Once you get to a certain level, allow services, allow professionals to help you out. Because even though I have an accounting degree from Alabama and I can get by, Jared does this for a living, and he converted me to an S corp, and so basically the savings of that move means he's free because I save enough money every year to afford an accountant, which is outstanding. That means I don't have to do my taxes. He does all the filings. He does the payroll. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's nice. I still do all of my taxes. I use inventory lab to do all my accounting and stuff. Even though I have to manually put in eBay and Mercari and Poshmark, right, and all that, I just keep it all right in that system.
And that's exactly what I did. I did that exact same thing until.
Yeah, but it would be nice if there was some way for that to integrate automatically. If I could have eBay's information be pulled over directly into that, would be amazing.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they can get their API. Maybe I'm sure they've been suggested before, but.
Yeah. I did want to just because this comment came up a while ago. So Harbor's Hope asked, how much should I get to spend at tonight's auction? Isn't your auction tomorrow night?
Ron, don't spend any tonight. You're at the wrong auction. It's tomorrow night.
But bring as much as you can, because I see some of your pricing sometimes and I'm just floored with how well some of your items sell for.
And then the stuff that Eric sells, a lot of it's a little bit longer term, but there's a lot of value there, and people can make, we're sell a lot of lots, so there's value in the lots if you can get them correctly. And we sold some like printers and stuff. I know I'm gonna sell that one tomorrow night because it's the extra printer. It's a little brother, but now that Pirate Ship supports that label, it makes it much nicer. It's the small label for eBay, the small 2x7 that Pirate Ship started supporting. eBay's always supported it, but now Pirate Ship does a lot. I know a lot of people use Pirate Ship.
I didn't even know that Brother made a little printer like that. I mean, I have the Dymo and I've heard of the Rollo, and
yeah, they actually make the best printer. They make a QL1110 NWB. It's completely wireless. And it'll print all the labels. And so that one actually is, but you can't find it right now. There's one on eBay. It's an international seller, and they want 400 plus 85 shipping. It's a printer that it's hard to find right now.
I'll have to keep my eyes open. I'm sure around here I won't find it though. We don't even have garage sales open yet. So
yeah, we went to a couple this weekend, and we did it. I went to a flea market a couple times. Yeah, I gotta finish making a video about the flea market.
I can't wait for that. And by the way, did you see last week I had a Hawaiian dress? And do you see what I have right here?
Roll Tide.
Alabama T-shirt. I'm like, hey, I got to put something on that mannequin. And that's for sale, by the way.
People
Not to
people
you, but
always
to anyone else watching.
people always look at the shirt, but which kind of like
Upside down.
they're like, you don't have anything Alabama on. I'm like, I've always got some Alabama on.
That's right. And if you're not nice, he can leave you with some Alabama on, right?
Yeah, I'm too old for that.
Yeah, I know. I'm. So let's see what else I got for questions here. I don't see any in the chat. So I know that you sell on eBay and of course Amazon. What platform do you prefer to sell on the most?
Uh, I prefer to sell on Amazon because what I was doing, the FBA, that it's like hiring an employee. They do, they do the shipping and stuff for you, so it allows you. You're not tied to your inventory. That's the biggest thing that I like about it. But for actually sourcing, and I grew up with yard sales, and I still have a passion for those things, and so I like hunting and digging yard sales and estate sales, and so it's kind of a catch. It's kind of a different answer. I love to sell on one, but I love to hunt and find for the other. So it's that means you end up with a building full of stuff.
I think that during everything that's gone on with C19 right now, it's actually been nice to be multi-platform seller. So if you were just Amazon, well, we saw what happened with John. He kind of, had a screeching halt there for a little bit. And then
But
thankfully,
he's multi-platform, but the one thing I would tell you is you need to maintain some flexibility, and that's where the ability where we were had a distinct advantage over someone of that size and of that rigid is because if I wanted to start shipping my items fulfilled by merchant, okay, I just listed them and started. You know what I mean? I had to set up because I ship at eBay, and I've been spending the first part of last year making eBay easier to ship, and so I've been collecting all these boxes, and now I never would have dreamed I bought this many boxes. I mean, I've bought thousands of boxes in the last couple of months, and the ability to change and be flexible and to read trends and that kind of stuff is extremely important in this game, I believe.
yeah. I know he does sell on eBay because I bought some glasses from him last week. So
yeah, but his eBay is fulfilled through his Amazon and that kind of the companies that he works with for drop ship his eBay as well. And so he doesn't have physical control over the inventory. So, whereas I would allow FBA to sell out and just started selling, if I'd pick it up that day, I'd list it on my phone as I bought it, then I'd ship it the next day or two whenever it's sold. So
last year, I was approached by eBay to be part of their Fulfillment by eBay program that they were kind of testing the beta out. And I made friends with somebody who jumped into it and decided to do it. I was just too new to even FBA at the time for me to even have the stock to split between both platforms. And he was saying that he had really a lot of issues because even though he had somebody else fulfilling it for eBay, they ended up having the virus in the warehouse and it slowed stuff down, and it was like weeks before things would even get out of that warehouse. So I was really thankful that I have the ability like you to ship some stuff on my own. I mean, I haven't really liked it. I mean, I don't like packaging 50 items to head out. But I don't really have anything else to do right now anyhow. Do I want to continue to do that when I'm hitting the road and sourcing again? No.
I dropped 106 today, and
Oh my gosh.
And that was it was over 200 last Monday. So, and I don't want to keep this up. I was talking this morning. I think we've reached a point where FBA is probably 80% of what it was, and so it's time to start sending some stuff back in. They're getting better. Not every item, but they are getting much. It's not a 2 week till they ship it anymore. It's not the 2 to 3 days. It's probably 4 to 5. Which, if you mix in still some of each, you do okay. And so I'm thinking that it probably tomorrow will be my first FBA shipment since January.
Yeah, I haven't. Well, I sent one in the day before they locked it down. So March 5th, 6th, whatever it was. And then I haven't sent anything out since then. And I did do some sourcing this weekend at Walmart, and I said, all right, I think I'm going to send some of this in. Now, there are items that I buy that as soon as I list them, they're sold. So I'm just going to keep doing those FBM because they just sell quickly. There's no benefit of sending them to FBA.
Right. So the two things that you can really learn from this are the stuff that sells very quickly. If it's an item that's lightweight, you can make more money on it by shipping it yourself. And more of the long term stuff. You don't want to send stuff in that's going to sit for. Okay, so I had some items. I won't mention the other seller's name, but we had similar items in the same different sizes. It was this time last year, and I pulled mine back and decided I was done with them. They've paid storage for a year on them, oversized.
Wow.
And it was only $4 to $5 per item profit. There's no physical way that item is profitable anymore with oversized storage for a year.
Wow.
So I think that items that if you've got a little space and it's, if it's an item that's not made anymore or something that might take a higher rate, you can take a chance on because you got it so cheap that when it will sell, there's big money. I think those items need to stay with you now because the fees are getting, if you go through November, December where the fees get crazy, you've paid a lot of money to store it out of the warehouse that, you could have had it sitting here. So those are the two options. If it's something really fast, even if you're going to send it to FBA, the one thing I would tell you is go ahead and list it and sell 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, get some of your money back into your balance while you're preparing the shipment, because it's amazing how fast, say I'm going to do an FBA shipment Friday and I bought stuff today. Why would you not at least try to sell some between now and Friday? And especially if fast turning items that the price might drop on, take it. I'm really going to be more strategic and take advantage of that time window so that you can make more money per item. And I think that's the name of the game. The more you can make per item, then, the less you got to sell, right?
Yeah, I did that. I bought those things on Saturday and I listed them up. I had company, so I listed them really quick on FBM, and yeah, so sent them off today. But I have noticed that there are some things that normally Amazon is higher price on, but I'm actually sourcing some items where I'm selling them more on eBay. I get more on eBay than I do on Amazon, and I don't find products that are normally like that very often. Normally, I can get much more on Amazon.
Yeah, a lot of times, really the eBay game is I sell a lot of my items I'm restricted on. Like I bought some baby formula. I got it at Walmart for $7. I don't know why they were clearancing it out, but they did. And it's normally $25 a box. And so I looked on eBay and somebody had just sold 4 for $90. I'm like, well, heck, I can sell. And there's 12 of them there. I'm like, I want to sell all 12 of these 3 times 90. And I sold 2 of them yesterday. So that was a $180 sale. And so, it's an item that I couldn't sell on Amazon. I was restricted. And then eBay forced me to open a professional account, which if they ever have you do that, eBay, it's as simple as give them your store name. Okay, so what is your business name? Okay, hit done, and that's it. They convert you to a business account. There's no rhyme or reason. And then all of a sudden, where I was restricted from selling it on eBay, it listed right up, and I sold it a couple days later. So
yeah, eBay sent out something saying you couldn't sell feminine products and stuff like that, I don't know, a month or so ago, and I thought, oh my gosh, I've been selling Kotex and tampons and stuff. So I said, well, I'm gonna check to see if I'm a business, because they said if you're a business account you can. So I checked and I was a business account. I don't even remember signing up for it, but I must.
Mine's been that way that's a 99 account, so it took that long. It didn't take any time to switch over.
Yeah, it was quick and easy. So if somebody has any issues on eBay and you can't sell something, just register as a business. It doesn't change anything. I mean,
no.
They're going to send you, PayPal's going to send you that $10.99 if you hit that threshold anyhow. And of course, now with managed payments, they're going to send it whether you're a business or not a business. So it doesn't really do any difference by signing up as a business or not. It was
weird because the little notification to come on the phone said that this item, you need to have a business account because this item, might be in a category that price gouging occurs or some nonsense like that. But if you give them your business name, all of a sudden you're free of that. You're a business. You're not a price gouger. I'm in Ollie's and they're selling 50 packs of disposable masks for like $40. I'm like, okay, so why is it okay that businesses can sell this, but the small people on Amazon and eBay can't sell for the same price? It's just ludicrous. They kick the small person pretty hard.
Yeah. I mean, I was in a store. We have a store called Runnings up here. I don't know if it's in the South. I think it's just here in the Northeast. And they have some masks. It's a outdoor sporting goods store. And they have, they have their masks there, and they're just the disposable ones, the blue, just non
Yep, that's what they were.
grade. And they're $2 a piece. They had a box of 15 for $29.99.
Yeah, they call, they've got somebody's child making them for probably a nickel at the most.
I couldn't believe it. So I actually took a picture of it to share with some friends of mine, saying, look at the price.
Because I'm looking at that, I'm like, I bought a pack of 20 of the N95 mask for like $21 when I was selling all that stuff. And so you're telling me that mask for double the price, and you only get 10 more. I mean, the N95 is way more the mask than that little bit disposable thing. But
right, at least that has the protection that the other masks, the disposable ones, don't really have much protection. So yeah, I see even with hand sanitizer, that's popping up all over the place too now. So I'm glad that people can now at least buy it.
All that stuff's in stock now. So, toilet paper and all that stuff shouldn't be an issue. I see it everywhere. And Walmart's here struggled, but they were getting trucks, so you could find it if you really had to have it. So, but now everywhere is slowly coming back into stock. So,
yeah, the shelves are still pretty bare around here. Where I live, all we really have we only have one Walmart. I have to drive like an hour to get to my next Walmart. And I know, not like you. That's why after watching your show, and we moved from Vermont over here to New York, and I decided to just do this full time. I wasn't going to do another job. I was working part-time as a contractor for the Navy. I decided to give that up and just do this because I had to fly a lot, and it's 3 hours to the airport. And I said, now I'm just going to do this full time. And after watching you, I was just like, all right, road trips. So my mom and I do road trips, which we're on one tomorrow. We're heading to New Hampshire to visit my sisters. And I will be doing some sourcing because New Hampshire and Vermont is more opened up than we are here in northern New York. Yeah.
Yeah, New Hampshire for sure. I got a friend who, Dan, who lives up that way. He's been to New Hampshire. People don't realize you really have to understand the stores and opportunity in your area, because somebody like me who hits Walmarts and somebody like if they're in your situation and go, well, I went to my Walmart. I'm like, I've got 8 super centers within 30 minutes. 8. And if that's not enough to really make you mad, there's also 4 neighborhood markets to go with it. So there are 12 Walmarts in 30 minutes. And people go, well, neighborhood markets are just grocery stores. You keep thinking that.
Right. Yeah. Stay out of it then. We don't have neighborhood markets here. And what's funny is in Vermont, where I move from, Vermont doesn't even have what they call a super Walmart. They're all single door. There's no grocery. Like there's grocery, but no like grocery section. It's just a little bit of grocery within the normal store.
Now we have 8 super centers, full double entrance super centers, all over. The one difference between the South and a lot of other places, maybe the West is the same. It's different than the North. Is we have a lot of space. There's lots of area to put these super centers, whereas when you get up north, everything gets a lot more congested and a lot closer together. Try sticking one in, around New Jersey and New York. I mean, there's just people everywhere.
Yeah.
We're down here, even though it's 500,000 people in Huntsville, Alabama, it's very spread out and there's lots of room. So.
Well, and there's just not where I've lived, it's been really rural. There's just not the population to have a lot of them close to each other anyhow. But I love traveling. I love overnight. I just love to jump in the car and take off. It just gives me something to do. It makes this reselling fun to do something like that.
It's an absolute blast. People don't. You get to travel for free because you can write it all off. I mean, it's not technically free, but you need some expenses anyway to offset. If not, you're gonna pay it in taxes anyway. So, you know, I've been on. I'm leaving for your area. I think Sunday. I'm gonna meet up with Dan. He lives in Connecticut, so right near Mass. So I'll be up in the Northeast for I don't know 4 or 5 days next week. Looking forward to it. I haven't been anywhere since the last one was in mid-February. I went to Arkansas mid-February. That's the last road trip.
Has Connecticut opened much of their
Yeah.
their stores open? Because they just opened last week.
Connecticut's open. Yeah,
Wow.
you have to wear a mask, but they're a lot of stores we would go to are open. So
All right.
I'm not sourcing at furniture stores, or I don't need gyms because Dan's got a house, so I don't need a hotel. That's the difficulty too right now. Is hotels are so. The hotels are living in a nightmare scenario about cleanliness of these rooms, and so
I think a lot of hotels aren't even open, are they? Maybe certain, depending on the state.
depending on the state, they're open
I think
here.
in Vermont, they're all closed in Vermont. I don't know if they opened up when they opened up phase 1 or not, but I know they closed them all down because a lot of New York City people were coming into Vermont to get out of the city when it was really, really, with a lot of cases going on. And so the governor of Vermont just said, close all the bed and breakfasts, hotels, motels, everything's closed.
Yeah, I think we're in phase 3 now. So, we've gotten back, all the kids can start practicing sports and stuff again. They can, I think gatherings up to 50. There's only one more phase and then we're out of it. So, hotels are back. All the gyms are allowed to open again. But y'all don't understand all this. I went on a rant this morning. This thing has killed small business. It's absolute. I feel bad for these people who have spent their lives, learning a trade, learning a skill, providing a service. And then at the whim of the government, it can be shut down for illegally, in my opinion. I don't think a lot of these things there's lots of cases going through now supporting the unconstitutionality of what they've done. They've destroyed lives, destroyed families, and destroyed businesses. It's sad to see, a lot of local restaurants and stuff that will never open again. It's stuff that's been around for years.
I feel really bad because, the big companies, airlines, maybe even some of the casinos, cruise ships, all them, they'll get some type of bailout from the government. And, the small businesses, they were able to take a loan, which they still have to pay back. But how many of them even have the money to pay back? A lot of them didn't even take out a loan because they just know that they're going to have a hard time even paying it back. So I feel really bad. I agree. I hope that something happens. My husband and I we go out to eat 3-4 times a week. It's of course takeout, but just to keep helping out the small businesses. And we were buying
anything you can do to help your local businesses. And, if there's restaurants and stuff that you really enjoy, you got to keep patronizing them because they need to. Harlan and I were going to eat at our favorite wing place tonight. Joni's going with us, and they made it through okay. But who was I talking to? We ate at a Mexican restaurant. They own 3 of them here in town. It's the best Mexican, some of the best I've ever had. It's named Rosie's Cantina, and it's a big restaurant. It's always packed. And so I told the GM, they've got a lot of stuff going on. Like I can't imagine a nightmare. I did restaurants for 25 years. I'm so glad it's not me anymore. You guys, we appreciate your efforts to. He said, yeah, we actually didn't close this one. He said, but we lost money every single day. There was not a day that even though we had a healthy carryout business and we certainly appreciated every person. He said there was not a day that we made money.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah. When at the places I've been doing pickup, I've had to wait. There's been a line every single time waiting for other people to pick up also. And of course, fast food places like McDonald's, the line is out and around into the road and backed up and everything. It's been very, very busy around here.
I don't get that because I always used to say when I was running those crazy restaurants, just shut the dining room down, let me run a drive-through, and we would kill it. And now, once these people finally had that opportunity, they got like twice as slow. I'm like, But you've got one job, other than, with food safety and it all goes into it, but you've got one job. Move the freaking drive-through.
I've heard that there's some places where restaurants have opened, but the drive-through, like McDonald's, has not opened up their dining room. They're just going to keep, as of right now, they're just keeping their drive-through open.
It's weird here. A lot of the fast food restaurants have not. There's a chicken place here, Bojangles. They're open. Theirs just opened it yesterday. All the McDonald's insides are closed. Chick-fil-A, I'm not 100% sure. I need to check. I haven't been by. I go through their drive-thru anyway, but I know the McDonald's, Burger King, all the big ones, their Taco Bell's, they're all diners are still closed, even though we're in phase 3 and they're allowed to be open. I don't know if it's a part, because if you look at McDonald's, a lot of their tables are core drilled in, which means they're into the floor. They're concrete in the floor, so they can't move them around. So how do you control the 6 feet of space when the tables in the older restaurants can't move? So,
yeah, that's true. Huh. So Joe Pace here said he has 24 Walmarts less than 20 miles from him. I'm so
that's
jealous.
amazing.
I think, Joe, you're in Florida, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the Walmarts are. You got to remember, they started in the South. They started in Arkansas, and they're heavily, even a lot of the smaller communities here. Walmart a couple of years, I guess maybe 10 years ago, started developing it's still called a super center store, but it's a smaller footprint. We've got 2 of them here. The one out by me, the one we go to for personal stuff, is that small, but it's still a super center with a full everything, but it's not that massive building you think of. So you see that in a lot of small towns in the South now. They'll have that one, it's more economical for them to build that smaller store, but still carry a lot of, probably 80% of what the big ones do.
Yeah. Wow. So I'm just looking at some of my questions here. I know some of you have already answered. So one of the ones I like, out of all of the subscriptions that you subscribe to, besides your accountant, what would you say is the number one thing that you do? You know how there's like obviously Inventory Lab, Keepa, Aura, all those different ones. What would you say is number one?
It has to be Inventory Lab. And don't get me wrong, I like Aura. I'm one of the folks who you can get a ambassadors for Aura. I believe in Dylan and his, but Inventory Lab, really, the ability to make it easier for you to send things in. I don't use the accounting anymore because of course I have an accountant. But I do use it some. It tracks my any inventory and what I've got on hand, but it is worth every penny for it to try doing. Did you ever do any FBA shipments without Inventory Lab and then switch over?
Too. Yeah, I did too. And then I was like, what is this Inventory Lab I keep hearing about? I think I'm going to check this out. And I did like 3 months, I think it was, or whatever. And never went back.
It's like night and day. If you're going to send a lot of FBA shipments in, the time saving alone is worth, and that's where I judge a lot of my services is, what kind of benefit do I get out of time? Because that's the one thing, as I don't want to hire employees. I just want it to continue to be me, because I had employees for all those years. I don't want to be a social worker anymore. I don't want to be all, I met a lot of wonderful people, but, I like the only voices in my head to be my own voices now.
And I know John was working you really hard last summer to hire somebody to help you out.
And so efficiency really matters to me. And so Inventory Lab is super efficient. Dylan with Aura is really working to integrate everything they do. So once you enter stuff in Inventory Lab, they pick it up, so you don't have to do it twice. So that's the biggest thing I like about that one. I don't have a ton of subscriptions. I killed a lot of them. That's another benefit of having the people around you. Sue and I were talking, and she's like, why do we pay for all these subscriptions? I'm like, I don't know. Let's start killing them. And we started making a list of which ones do we use, which ones do we not use. And I think I ended up killing 4 or 5. But you think, it's only $20. But if it's 5, that's $100 a month. And so
I killed BrickSeek.
I killed BrickSeek. I was doing the $30 there.
Yeah, I've only done the lower level, but it's funny because this past weekend, I said, I think I'm going to join up because I was going to be hitting the road. And again, around here, it's all I have to source from are Walmart's, Lowe's, and drugstores. So I joined back up, but they had a special going on where you buy one and got like 3 months free or something. And I thought, damn it, why didn't I see that? I could have just bought one and got 3 months free. I didn't see the notification after I canceled that it came through.
I think the free one gives you about 50-mile radius to the search. And so that covers all the Walmarts I generally go to anyway. So, and if I was going to go to Birmingham or Nashville, I just pick one zip code out of there. So I've been I use it, but I use the free version of it. Yeah, I don't have a lot of subscriptions. But Inventory Lab, hands down, I've used it since 14. It's been absolutely. The other thing I love about it is Amazon has a tendency, if you have an item that's out of stock and something happens, say, it's all of a sudden deemed to be unlistable or whatever, they send you an ugly email saying that it's been taken down and blah, blah, and you can actually get things, strikes on your account based on, listing violations. But if you delete those items, if you delete it completely out, you don't get hit. So how do you delete it out? But even though you might sell another one, Inventory Lab keeps track of the ASIN and all the SKUs. And so when you go to list it, Inventory Lab goes, you've used this before. You want to use the same one? And you just go, yeah. And it just puts it right back like it was. And so you never lose any. And I've got all the information I sold since I started, because I started by watching a guy named Ryan Grant, and he really liked Inventory Lab. I'm like, well, hell, if I want to do what he's doing and he's using it, I'm going to go ahead. I started using it from day one. And so all the information since 14 is still stuck in there, which is really nice.
That is really nice. That's one thing Sue mentioned on your show with Inventory Labs, and I've used it a few times, is going on and seeing the profitable ASIN. So if you know that certain times a year there's certain things that are for sale, just kind of reminding you, because it can get, especially when you have a plethora of stores to shop from and source at, it, sometimes you can be pulled in multiple directions. There was some items that I purchased and I had quite a few returns on. Well, bras, for instance, when I jumped on bras at Kohl's, I was getting a ton of returns. And I was just like, I don't really think this is worth sourcing. Like I'm just had so many returns. So I ran a report on Kohl's, and that was majority of the stuff at that time is what I was sourcing were bras. And I saw what my profit was on it. And I was like, okay, I'll keep doing bras. It's worth those few returns that you might get for the amount of ones that we're selling that weren't being returned.
Yeah, that's a very helpful report, because I talked about it this morning on the morning show. A lot of the new sellers, I guess they went through Common Core, the young people or whatever it is, they don't understand basic math. I gave the example of an item it weighs 5 pounds. So I'm cubic shipping it. So it's costing $9 to ship. It costs $5. So you're at $14. It's got $2 in fees, $2.25. So $16.25 is what you got to sell that to break even. I went to bed the other night and I was selling at $34.97. So I was making about $15. I wake up and they're selling at $15. They're selling it, losing $1 for everyone, $1.25 for every one they sell. And not only did the one person who was just listed, there was the first 5 listings were all just listed. So they all decided it was a good idea to sell it for a loss. The first 10 people didn't have but 22 ratings between all of them. And you had to get the number 11 before they made a penny. I'm like, and they sold out because it was an 800 ranked item in sports. I mean, something that was in the top 0.25%. Sports is almost 30 million items. And so if you're under 1,000, that's smoking. And I'm like, but that report tells you every item went, all the everything's reconciled through Amazon. So you know exactly every dime you spend on that item, and you can look at it and go good or bad. And it's very, you'd be shocked if you filter from the top and make the negative ones come first. Items you think you're making good money on, you'd be shocked. You go, I've done it several times and go, well, I'll be damned. I thought I made money on that.
Yes,
but it
definitely. And yeah. And then again, I just love to every now and then just to look and see like one specific product I did a lot of shopping for last summer. We have a local chain of drugstores that are just here in the Northeast, and I hit them up, every single one of them. And I just love to sit there and like every week I would look at that report to see what my profit was on that. And it just, yeah, I really like Inventory Lab. I would say for me, that was probably be my number one also. Keepa is really close too, because without knowing how much things actually sell, how often, at what price, just the history that you can get from a Keepa graph can really save you. I mean, when I started off, I wasn't doing Keepa. Back then it was free. And then I think I was only in for about a month when it went to where you had to pay for it. And I didn't pay for it because I was just starting off. I wasn't sure what I needed. And there's so many things out there to subscribe to. It was just overwhelming. And I did some bad purchases. I would scan and I'm like, oh yeah, there's great profit in this, and send it in. And in October I pulled back quite a few items from my February, March purchases that I did during the free pullbacks.
You have to be careful, especially if an item's only got one seller, because they might be asking some astronomical price, and you gotta be careful. Once you learn all this stuff, I use the free versions parts of Keepa. I don't use because I've got such a feel for it now that I've sold $2.5 million on Amazon since I started, so quite a few items, and so you get a feel. But I still make mistakes. But yeah, it's the one thing you made a good point. I hope that your audience catches that is, if you learn a store, you don't have to follow the crowd. Most everybody starts off at the big box stores, Target, Walmart, whatever, scanning and looking for things, and maybe their clearance aisle. But I'm gonna tell you the truth: if you can learn one store, and if they've got it's like a chain store, say a Walgreens, and learn their ins and outs and how they do things and what they do, the amount of money you can make. I did that and sold them of that $1 million I sold out of one store, like 940,000. I sold out of one store.
Yeah, I remember you making that comment, and you also made a comment last year. It's funny how I'll listen to you in the background, and when I'm working and packing in the morning. Sometimes today I was active, but sometimes I'm not very active because I'm too busy packaging my orders up and just listening along. And you have a lot of politics and other stuff in your channel.
No,
lately. But there's always these nuggets that are dropped here and there that I'll just pick up on. And one of them was you made a comment about not shopping at Brickseek stores, because everybody's shopping at Brickseek stores.
Everybody's out of.
And I really started focusing on not those type of stores. And again, and that's what brought me into this local drugstore, and they had some stuff on clearance. And that's when I said to my mom, hey, let's go. We're going to hit Vermont and southern part of New York and grab these. But but when you first start off, though, because you're gated in so much stuff, and it gets very frustrating. And for a long time, I kept hearing about a specific store to go to, and I was like, "What the heck do you even scan in there?" Like I go in and I scan, I can never really find anything. And sometimes just hearing that one nugget about what was really popular. So I'll throw this out because it was last year, and I don't even think you can get it anymore. But at Tractor Supply, there was that chicken deworming. I think that's what it was.
Wazine.
Yeah, that stuff was pretty popular. I never jumped on board that because I didn't know about it. But when I heard about it, I was just like, man, that just opened up an array of stuff that I wasn't even thinking about scanning.
I know someone who just sold their last bottle. They were the only one on a listing. They found it on the clearance, and the last few bottles were like $4 a bottle. He sold it for $225.
Wow. Wow.
He sold his last 30 or 40 bottles at $225 a piece.
Well, that makes me realize that that opened up my eyes last summer, that there are things that I hadn't been scanning that I really should scan, just because it's something that I wouldn't use and wouldn't think of. You really just need to scan and scan. And
you need to turn off your own personal likes or dislikes about any product, any brand, and just look at the data. And it's hard to do because we're so ingrained. I mean, we're ingrained to believe in brands, and it's amazing that it doesn't store brands sell. I mean, everything sells, and then every item has a price that it'll sell for. And and the categories, I never found I never found a bottle of Wazine, and I hunted that stuff. I hunted
I
it.
never did either. I looked
I never
for
found one, and
tentatively.
I had friends who were finding it everywhere, and it was absolutely frustrating. But it happens. And then I'm the same person who found all that Wazine. I found a ton of stuff down here. He was going in the same stores up north. Nothing. It's been amazing the way you can find stuff in some areas you can't find in others. But
Yeah, I didn't find any, but my husband goes there all the time because he just is into that type of stuff they sell there with
I
our
made money on their toy clearance. They've got all kinds of different parts and stuff for different pumps and all kinds of stuff when they throw it on clearance. If you'll be diligent and scan through it and not think about what you're scanning, just look at the numbers. It's amazing the ranks and stuff that they come up with, and the amount of money that people pay for some of that stuff in Tractor Supply. But that's just one store. I mean, there's Big R. There's all kinds of those tractors that type of store that people all over this country use all that stuff.
So I went to Tractor Supply and I was with my husband, and he goes in there often enough that they know him. And I was scanning I think it was some clearance hunting stuff. And the manager came over and said, "If you buy it all, I'll give you a deal." And I said, I mentioned I was a reseller or something. And he was like, "All right,
He
what do
don't, he don't care.
you
He
want?
don't care.
Yeah." He's like, I want it gone. And ended up being, we couldn't negotiate on a price there was some things that were profitable and other things that were not profitable. But in order to get a deal, I had to take it all. And
Right.
it just wasn't enough for me to take it. But yeah, so it's just you learn things along the way though. I mean, I would have never thought of asking a manager, "Hey, if I take out all your clearance, can I get a deal?" And that actually opened up the door for me when I went to Walmart after school clearance, back to school clearance shopping, and they had a ton of backpacks, and I was like, "Hey, what if I bought all your backpacks? Would you give me a deal?" And the manager of the store was like, "Yeah, I'll give you a deal on it." So I
Yeah.
walked out with a ton of backpacks.
Yeah, they want them gone. They absolutely. And people don't understand until you've been doing this a while that retail shelf being empty or with something that they can't sell costs them a lot of money. It costs them a lot of opportunity to put something there that people are going to buy, and so there is a pressure for them to, especially the big chains like Walmart and the others, because they've already ordered. They're ordering stuff a year out, and so they know it's coming. They've got to have. It's no shock that back to school is coming, and then all of a sudden, you know, they've got to have Halloween in there. And that the time from Halloween to Thanksgiving is so short that that's why Halloween. You wonder why Halloween clearance hits hard so fast. It's because the opportunity for that shelves is they need to put it in the same seasonal spot, so they need Halloween the hell out of there. And
Right.
so,
And they're
and
already bringing Christmas in like August, September. You're seeing Christmas already starting to pop up. So, hey, Amy, she's a little late. My sister Amy is in here, and Dapper Tiger, who I just scheduled. Sam will be on June 9th. Dapper Tiger will be on the show. So thanks for stopping in. I Oh, you were saying something that made me think of something.
yeah,
I can't
Philip's
remember.
got a great point in the chat.
Oh,
If you've got to pick up 10 things no matter what. That's one thing I've tried to do this whole time is as I'm wandering through a store, even if it's very quickly, how long does it take you to scan something? Scan 10 items that, even if it's the same thing you're looking at, whatever's around it, or stop on your way through wherever you need to check 10 items, extra items. It doesn't take you any time. And it really opens up your mind and the possibilities of what you can sell, what's different. There, it helps you understand very, very to get out of your own way.
yeah. And I see that Eric made a killing on that hunting stuff last year. So Eric, I did want to say to you that Dave got his account back last week. I don't know if you heard or not. I connected Eric and Dave live in the state of Ohio, so I connected them. I think they were dealing with some of the same issues. Well, we're here at the hour, so I want to respect your time. I know you have lots to do and a lot going on.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm going to Walmart before I go eat wings with Harlan.
I'm jealous.
I've
Not
got a FedEx. I got a FedEx that and really on eBay, FedEx is your friend. You just can't imagine those soy infant formula. They were 15 pounds, and they're going to Iowa. So from Alabama to Iowa, priority shipping is $28. FedEx said, "Hold my beer. We'll do it for 12." If you've got items that are heavy, really understand the FedEx. But beer, when I don't have a FedEx drop or anything, um, every Walgreens will take FedEx ground or FedEx home.
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
where I go because it's 3 hours or 2 hours to our FedEx local closest FedEx place. I
but
go to
Walgreens
and
will take.
Dollar General started taking um, FedEx also.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I just go to Walgreens because that is my excuse to go in and start scanning.
Yeah, that's the store. I don't know what it is about the store. We don't agree. I just don't. I never have been a fan, and that's probably my own stupidity for letting my own self get it, not listening to my own self. But
At
yeah,
Dollar General,
I've made money in there, but I don't know why I
there is
don't.
some money to be made in the toy section, but you have to type everything in. You can't use the barcode.
And the
That's
phone and my phone, neither one of my phones working. Half of them.
yeah.
It's very frustrating, and yeah, I mean, I've done it and I've made money there, but that's a store that you know, the store I no longer have that I made such a killing in. Y'all would say, "Oh my God, I can't believe you even found anything to scan in there." So it really, if you can learn one and take the time, I'm telling you, I've got a friend who kills Dollar General. She loves it, loves it, loves it, and every time I talk to her, which is about every other day, I'm like, "Are you at a freaking Dollar General again?" Yes.
I do well at the Dollar General. I go on their clearance weekends, and I do very well for eBay items.
That's
Um,
that's
so
Johnny.
I got a couple other really fun things that I got to show because I took the time to make them. But here is your GoPro. We didn't really talk about how you wear that with your geocaching, but or geocaching with your garage sailing.
Yeah, I've got actually. I bought the new microphone, so hopefully that'll help even better. The 8 has that surround mic or whatever it is, external mic.
Yeah, we had the GoPro 3. We have a Jeep Wrangler and we take the Jeep on trips a lot. We actually took it all the way across Route 66 and back. Took a 3-week vacation and we did a lot of with the GoPro and we just upgraded to the 8
I was
and
about to say if you at least get a, if you want to do YouTube on a budget, at least get the 5, because the 5 is where they first started the whatever it is, the anti movement, the motion gets where they actually keep it from moving around. The 8's big claim to fame is the difference between the 7 and the 8 is they fixed the microphones. The microphone was awful, and the 8 finally fixes the microphone where the wind noise and stuff is not as bad, and it's the hyper smooth.
yeah,
Really, really, it's really good.
yeah, we have that. Still trying to figure out how to use it. The problem is, man, you go through a battery so fast. I mean, I got 2 batteries and I think they only last for about an hour, hour and a half, and I'm already having to switch it
Uh,
out.
yeah, use the you can go on Amazon, and I think it's like $29. You can get the external battery charger. Do I have one laying right here? Is it?
Yeah.
I put it in the van. It holds 3 batteries. You get it and the 3
Oh,
batteries for like $29, and so I keep like 5 or 6 batteries. Just I never know which one's charged, but you've always that they work out. They're not quite as good as the original batteries. They're maybe 80%, but still, battery for no
yeah.
battery is.
Yeah, I do. We have the external charger. It only takes 2 of them. And but even just opening, I can't even open the battery door. I have to like get a knife or something to
Every
pop.
time I open it, it pops off the top, and I have to stick it back on there. It drives me nuts.
Well, I pop it up purposely because that's what I use to get the SD card out. I'll use
Yeah,
the edge of it to pop pop that out all the way.
A great secret to get an SD card out on those things. You know, you have to have that to put in your computer, the little thing to stick it in.
Yep.
That's a great thing just to push it in and push it out. If you've got that with you, if you got an SD card, it'll push it in.
Oh, okay.
That I saw that on. I thought I was looking at one of the video channels, and I'm like, never thought of that. I've got those.
Really, I can't believe they haven't come up with a better design that's just a little more user friendly on being able to get things in and out, and and I wish I could take the card out without having to take the battery out and take everything apart. It's just kind of a pain. But I guess that's probably what makes it rugged and waterproof, and
yeah, the way it seals up whenever you put it.
Yeah. So.
But I do like the 8. It's been very nice.
Well, thanks again for coming on. I did drop your links down below in the description to your YouTube channels if anybody wants to check them out if you haven't already. He does do a live show on Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 9 Eastern.
I used to make videos a lot, but that's the one thing that I've got to give FBA back because it's really taking out my time to do video. If you're shipping, I mean, this is crazy. How many do I have? I shipped all those, and how many do we have to ship today? I'm back up to 48 again. I mean,
how do you get any time? I know that so we were talking about apps. So I have like the en route app that you've mentioned that you use, and I was like, oh, I'd like to pause that, but I paid for that one a year in advance because I used it for about 5 months and liked it enough. So in December I said, I'll take the tax write-off and pay for this a year in advance. But I'm not going anywhere for 2 months now. So
I bet you would like a replacement. I have an Amazon customer who's saying it sells deliver, but they want a replacement. You can open an A to Z claim.
That's right. I sold something, shipped it. They received it today, and they immediately said they want to return it because they found it at Walmart cheaper. I'm like, well, that's where I bought it at Walmart. So
return it. I don't care.
That's why I said return it. I'll probably try and see if I can get away with my because I charge shipping or I could do free shipping. So hopefully I can find a way to recoup my shipping. But if not, no big deal. I'll throw it up there and sell it again. All right, one more thing before we end.
That's awesome. I like that. I'm about to learn how to do all these little tricks you've got.
Yeah, he actually we jumped on StreamYard after the show last week, and he goes, all right, I'm going to show you how to do this stuff. And I said, hey, that's great. I want to add more fun to my show, so show me these things. And he showed me how to do their overlays.
I have lots of Auburn fans and stuff that I need to stick this on there for.
Yeah, and there was a lot of options. Is your mascot like an elephant or something? Or some type of animal?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So I had that I almost grabbed that as an option, but
Big Al, yeah. He's an elephant.
I wasn't sure, so I said I better not grab that. I'll do the roll tide because that's how you always end everything. All right, so just if anybody in the chat has anything coming up and you want to go ahead and leave your link to your channel and to any shows coming up, go ahead and do that. Next week I'm hoping to have Barbara Drazga on, but I haven't got a confirmation from her yet whether or not she is going to be available. I don't know if you know Barbara.
Yeah, I've talked to her quite a few times. I like Barbara.
Yeah, she does a bundling, Amazon bundling class. And then I'm going to have, of course, the Dapper Tiger on is after that on that Tuesday. And then I don't have anything else scheduled. So we'll see who else I can get on. And I'm heading out of town, so no more from me on this channel. No bingo this week. I do play bingo on the channel and give out prizes. Not very many resellers come on, though, and play because I have some reselling prizes. I got some Scotty peelers and some Gugon and IKEA bags.
I have no time right now with all the stuff I do. I watch very few reselling. I did take 20 minutes to watch the squirrels last night, but that was.
I've been trying to watch more YouTube. My husband and I have been sitting at night and we watch YouTube on the TV, but it's all more like homesteading. We're doing more into wild edibles. We just went morel mushroom picking this past weekend.
Yeah, that's what my buddy Kevin, the Idaho Hillbilly, they've been. Do you watch Kevin and Kitty, the Idaho Hillbilly?
No.
They support their life. They're homesteaders, but they support their life with eBay, selling on eBay. He calls it Rusty Gold, and they live in Idaho, up in the mountains of Idaho. So all the stuff they sell is local stuff from that area. And man, they're big into mushrooms. They were hunting their video this morning. They were hunting the whole family, their grown kids and all. They all went camping and were out hunting morels this morning. Or yesterday.
We hunted all day Saturday. I had some family that were here, and we have 100 acres. So we were checking probably a good 50 acres, spreading out, came up empty handed. And then yesterday, my daughter was here, or on Sunday morning, we walked just into our backyard and we found like 25 of them just right in the backyard. So like after walking all that other land right here, there was some right here. So yeah, it was it's been interesting. We've tried some weird things. I don't eat mushrooms, but my husband does. Of course, he's a hunter, so we, venison and bear and wild turkey, that kind of stuff. But I don't really partake in any of that stuff.
Yeah, but check out the Idaho Hillbilly. They're a wonderful couple and great resellers. They built the house, and they lived in a the camper. They lived out of camper for quite a few years, and then they bought this land. It was an old campground, and they have converted it into their homestead. So they've built, it's a lot of reclaimed everything. They're very, very cool people.
Yeah, thanks. I'll definitely check them out because that's what we've been doing at night, just sitting and watching those type of videos. And then during the day, I have reselling stuff on while I'm packing and listing and doing whatever, and try to jump in and talk a little bit. And if it's alive, otherwise I just watch.
I get too distracted. I just listen to.
I'll do you.
Just listen to Pandora, let it roll.
No, although I did just get done watching Making the Cut on the Amazon Prime video. Just clothing showing. Yeah, you probably wouldn't like it. It's like fashion.
Yeah, that's not me.
Yeah, no.
I made my own fashion.
Right. All right, Scott. Thanks again. I appreciate you coming on, and I will see you on Thursday morning on your show.
Woo-hoo.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Roll Tide.